Story 1. AITA for moving all my daughter's belongings to my parents' house and leaving nothing for my husband's affair kid. AITA for this? My husband told me Saturday that he'd had an affair and had a kid from it. Our kids are 14M and 10F, and this child is 9F. Something happened to her mother in the last couple weeks. I was a little too busy screaming at him to listen to the details. And he was leaving to go get her. My daughter came to me crying, saying that he told her she had to share her room and her stuff with this girl for now. I called my parents, and they agreed to her staying in their guest room, two-bedroom condo, so my son and I are staying at the house. We packed her stuff, and Monday my parents, sister, BIL, and nephews helped us move all her stuff to my parents' place. They also helped put locks on my bedroom and my son's bedroom. We moved all my husband's stuff from my bedroom to the fourth bedroom that he used as a home office. Yesterday evening, my husband got home with his affair kid. He got mad about all the stuff being gone and nothing being left for her. She's from a much warmer area and doesn't have clothes for the cold here. We live in the northern part of the US. This morning he caught me in the kitchen to complain to me about it again and said I was being cruel by not making my daughter share with her. AITA?
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 2. AITA for not letting my inheritance be used for my step and half siblings when I'm not going to college. I, 17M, won't be going to college after high school, and instead I'm going to learn a trade. I feel like it works better for my skills and generally would be a better job for me. My mom isn't super happy about it, but she knows college has been pushed on me for almost 2 years and my mind hasn't changed. So she's accepted that she won't change my mind and nobody will. Here's why my post is here. My dad died when I was 6. When he was 9, my grandmom, his mom, died. And it was due to medical negligence, malpractice, and my grandpa, uncle, and dad were awarded compensation, a huge amount too, for her death. Granddad split it between my dad and uncle. He was working and received Social Security benefits for them because grandmom died and he knew she'd want them to be taken care of above everything. When my dad realized he was sick, he made sure that money would go to me, his only kid. He set it up in a trust and left my granddad and uncle in charge of it. The money is a lot. Like I could easily be debt-free going to college with it and have some left over if I was smart about it. My mom knew about the money but cannot access it. My mom has been married to her husband for 9 years. My parents were separated when Dad died, BTW. Her husband has a son who's a year younger than me and has a medical condition. My mom also has 2 kids with her husband, my half-siblings. Because of my stepbrother's medical condition and his mom not being in his life or his mom's family, they don't really have any savings for his college anymore. They had to spend it for some medical stuff. And my half-siblings have nothing either. My mom and her husband think that since I have the money and won't be using it for college, I should give it to my stepbrother and half-siblings and let them pay it back if I insist, but that I could also just give it to them as a way to help them with their futures and be a good brother. I said no, and I told them I wouldn't change my mind. Mom asked why, and I said it's my inheritance from my dad. I could buy a house with it. I could protect my future with it. I could save it for my future kids. But I don't want to risk it not being paid back when it was Dad's way of securing my future. She told me he'd want me to do this, and I asked her if she really thinks he'd want the money he got from losing his mom to be used on random kids that aren't me. She told me they're not random to me, so yes. She believes he'd want me to be a good brother. She told me I should really give it more consideration. AITA?
In my opinion, he is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 3. AITA because I refused to go and visit my special needs stepsister in hospital even though she's very sick. I low-key hate her. I'm 15 years old. I have a stepsister who is a couple years older than me and she is really seriously disabled. I'm not sure what's wrong with her because no one ever wants to discuss it with me, but she's nonverbal, breaks her bones a lot, and has severe epilepsy and will have many fitting episodes. She also doesn't understand stuff. That's probably the easiest way to put it. She's just a human body with nothing inside. She's my stepmom's daughter. My stepmom married my dad 3 years ago, and they dated only for a year before that. I don't know my stepmom very well, and I don't really get on with her. We are respectful to each other, but I'm basically living with strangers because she's so busy with her daughter and my dad. I am always on my own, and I used to hate it, but I'm used to it now. Ever since they moved in to live with us, life changed drastically for me because all the care now revolves around my stepsister. That's fine, I get it. But both my stepmom and my dad ask me to do things for my stepsister that I don't want to do, and I resent doing. Stuff like staying home when I want to go to the mall with my friends. They're disappointed that I don't get her anything for her birthday with my very limited funds, etc. My own mom passed away when I was small, so I can't go and stay anywhere else. And all in all, I'm just a lot more angry than I used to be because they seem really disappointed whenever I say I don't want to do anything for her. Even stuff like feeding her, like, I don't want to sit there feeding her banana pudding and wiping her drool. I didn't ask for this. Anyway, she recently fell a few days ago and had a seizure for 8 minutes. She was taken to hospital and the doctors want to keep her in and look after her. I don't want to go and visit her. I remember seeing my mom in hospital before she died, and I just hate hospitals, and I sort of hate my stepsister, and I just don't want to go and visit someone who doesn't even know I'm there. My stepmom is really upset with me, and so is my dad. They haven't yelled at me or anything, but they are both being super cold towards me because I don't want to visit. My grandma, who lives in Canada, called me up out the blue and told me it was okay, and I don't need to force myself to go to the hospital, so I'm assuming my dad has told her I'm refusing to go. He keeps pleading with me, but I keep telling him I'm not doing it. I told him hospitals remind me of mom, and he got even more upset and said my stepsister might die and I need to stop being so selfish towards my stepmom. I just want to know what Reddit thinks because half my friends think I should go and the other half think I'm justified in saying no.
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 4. AITA for not thanking my BL when he saved my daughter? On Friday, it was my cousin's kid's birthday and we had the party at a local lake. My daughter is 4 and cannot swim. I also can't swim and my husband, who can swim, was not present. I explained water safety to my kid. She had a life jacket on, all that jazz. I also have a toddler, however, and had to nurse him for a nap. I left my cousin in charge of my daughter while I left to feed my son. My daughter hadn't been into the water at all, and I thought she was fine. She was not. I still don't really know what happened. 1 second everything was fine, and the next everyone was screaming. I got down to the lake's edge just as my brother-in-law was pulling my daughter from the lake. Her life jacket had been removed. She coughed up some water and he did some water vomit trick which led to her clearing out. After he was sure she was fine, he walked her over to me and said verbatim, "Shitty parents lead to dead kids. Get your head out of your ass and teach her how to swim." I didn't really have much of a response, just packed up my kids and drove her to the ER. She's completely fine, just a little shaken up and very afraid of water. Anyway, my sister texted me and told me I ought to thank him for saving her life. I didn't respond initially because we were still in the ER, which led to her calling me an ungrateful bitch. Again, I ignored because my daughter needed me, but last night everything came to a head. My BL DM'd me asking if I would have rather she drowned. Following that, I have received message after message. I tried to explain that I've been busy, but my sister said not to contact them unless it's to thank him and apologize. I will probably thank him just to keep the peace, but I think they're out of line. There was no need for his comment and their following behavior. My husband thinks I should go no contact, but he's never liked them, so I'm hesitant to listen. My dad agrees with Hub, however. So AITA for not thanking him, yet? ETA, I sent him a long message detailing my apology and explanation a few hours ago. I haven't received a reply, but it has been read.
In my opinion, she is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below.
Story 5. AITA for ripping a shirt in front of my mom that she just bought me? I, 16M, love my mom, 46F. She's a very nice and sweet lady and she goes out of her way for me and my brothers. However, she takes it a bit too far. One of the things she does is buy me clothes. Whenever she goes somewhere that isn't Walmart or a grocery store, she has a brand new shirt or new jeans. It's very nice of her, but there's 2 problems. A. The shirts she buys are very ugly. You know those shirts at JCPenney that are just sitting on a random shelf, the ones with like a palm tree on them or something. That's what she gets me. B. She's been doing this for a few years. I am up to my asshole in new clothes. I have like 12 shirts I wear regularly. The rest still have the tags on them. Whenever she goes to the Salvation Army and I hand her all these clothes, she complains about it. So I decided to bring this up with her and told her I appreciate the thought, but I do not want her to buy me clothes anymore. She said okay, but she still buys me clothes all the time. At first, I begrudgingly accepted them and told her to stop. Then I began to refuse the shirts and told her to return them. She returns them, but still buys clothes. She has even started to complain about how much she has to return shirts now. Anyway, it kept going, and I kept getting louder about it, making it clear I do not want her to buy me clothes anymore. I reached a boiling point and decided I wasn't going to be polite about it anymore. I told her flat out the next time she buys me new clothes, I'm either throwing them away or ripping it, because apparently asking her no is not enough. Again, she just said, "Okay, I'll stop." Well, you can probably guess what happened next. She came back from the store, and the first thing she said to me was, "I know you told me to stop buying you clothes, but," and pulled out another ugly shirt. I took it, put my foot in the neck hole, and ripped the thing down the middle. I just handed it back to her and walked off. She's been pretty upset about it and has actually been crying about it. We haven't talked since it's been a day and a half, and we've been kind of avoiding each other. My brothers get where I'm coming from, but think I took it a step too far. My dad is on the fence about it. I've talked to him about this before, and he agrees with me, but I also don't think he wants to take my side on a subject she's this distraught about. I feel rotten about it, but at the same time, I've asked her for months to stop, and I was pretty patient about up until like 3 weeks ago, and I didn't know what else to do. Don't twist this. I love my mom and recognize how much she cares for me. I want to apologize, but I feel like if I do, this problem will persist. I know it's a nice gesture, but she also knows how much it annoys me, and still she does it. Am I the asshole here?
In my opinion, he is not an asshole. What do you think? Comment below. Subscribe for more interesting stories.